morning. This is the Eager Beaver Show.
You are listening to a True North Eager Beaver Media Incorporated podcast. The True North Eager Beaver podcasts are proudly brought to you by our founding sponsors, the Misfit Mysteries from Corvid Moon Publishing, your source for science fiction, fantasy, and cozy mysteries featuring a broad diversity of characters, CanadianTarot.com, your uniquely Canadian online eclectic tarot community, and the Peppermaster, hot pepper sauces made from farm-fresh ingredients to thrill your taste buds and expand your mind. Well, good morning and hello, kids, and welcome to season 4 and episode number 432, I'm guessing, of the Daily Beaver Morning Show here on the Crier Media Network. Yeah. Today, recording day, is Wednesday, July 24th, 2024. And it's a lovely day here at the Beaver Lodge. I'm your host, the Eager Beaver, pronouns he, him, hey, Mr. Beaver, eh? And not with me at the moment is my good friend, Mr. Grizzly. He needed a little bit of extra hibernation time, and then Mademoiselle Lola needed some tending too. So he's out doing that. So here I am solo today. For the moment, Mr. Grizzly will be joining us later. A big thank you goes to our podcast founding sponsors, the Peppermaster, the Misfit Mysteries from Corvid Moon Publishing, and CanadianTarot.com. As you can see, kits and cubs, I am flying solo, but I got the credentials to go into the main thing and got a little bit of a crash course on starting with all the bumpers and all that kind of stuff. So I hope everything worked well. I hope you can hear me because usually Mr. Grizzly lets me know if my mic is on, but I do not have him. So hopefully you are there and you can let me know, kits and cubs. There you go. So first time learning new things. That's why there was a little delay between the end of the music and myself, because I had gone to bring up the chat, and then I realized, oh, well, if I'm in the chat, then I can't actually start the camera for the show, and then I had to find it again. But hey, you know what? So it's not how you start, it's how you finish. So so far, so good. Thank you for your patience in terms of the show starting late, of course, and I hope you can find us, because some of you have. Thank you, and I see you in the chat, because I thought I would be able to broadcast directly from our Facebook page, but it seems that there was an issue in the production suite that did not bring it there directly. So I actually do not know where it is where people are watching us today. If you could let me know, that's great too, because then I can possibly put a link out to anyone else who might be looking for us. There we go. Okay. Good morning to the kits who are there. Let's say good morning through the magic mirror to Kit Toronto Dan, who I believe will be joining us next week for a few minutes, I believe on the 1st, because he has some news. Kit PNC Bio, Kit Mr. Jim. Good morning, my friend. It's so nice to see you. I hope you're doing well. Kit Carol. Hello, lovely. Yes, that's, I believe Carol is one of our nonas, if I'm not mistaken here, in the Dam fam. Kit Vim, hello, my dear. It's so lovely to see you. Kit Linda M, the original and the best. Good morning to you. Kit Saucy. What that's it's love and it's real. All right. Kit Jillian. Hello, my dear. Tabby G. Hey, yes. Pleasant surprise. Good morning to you as well. Thank you. Who do we have? Kit Elaine. Of course. Thank you, Kit Argosi Acres. It's so lovely to see you both. I hope that you have a beautiful day in store. And who else do we have joining us that I can say hello to? Is there anybody? Is there anybody before we start the show? Anybody getting in at the last minute to get a greeting? Nope. Okay. I think that's everyone. So there you go. Oh, Kit Tabby G says that we're on YouTube. Are we? I guess through the Crier page, Tabby G, because we weren't able to set anything on ours. Set anything up on ours. Anyway, whichever. I will once I get the information, I will try to then post a link on our social media while I'm talking at the same time, which will be a little tricky. But hey, this first time for everything. I seriously don't know how Mr. Grizzly does it because there's a lot of buttons and things to click here. But let's get to the news. For me, it's the big news because, well, I'm a bit of an Olympic geek, but hey, the Olympics start today, kits and cubs. I am so excited about that. As you know, we had a chat with Devin Haru from CBC Sports, who's now there. So please, if you have not seen it yet, take some time to check it out on our YouTube page. And hello, Miss Shatika, lovely to see you, and hello, family. And even though the opening ceremonies don't start officially until the 26th, there are still 2 days of competition that start today. Mostly some soccer, but a couple of other things as well. I don't think that there are any Canadians in action today, but tomorrow, I believe at 10:30 a.m. Eastern Time is the scheduled time, Team Canada, the national women's soccer team, will be taking on New Zealand. And reports are from people that it seems that uh, I was listening to a podcast yesterday about predictions for the Olympics, and it seems that the prediction is that the team will do well, but nobody is predicting this time around that there will be a medal because the team is a little bit in a rebuilding phase. But then again, right, you get on a roll, you get a hot goaltender, you never know. However, Kits, there is already drama at the games. And this time, unfortunately, we are the villains, which is very, very odd for us as Team Canada. But there were reports of an incident yesterday where a non-accredited support staff was caught doing something that they should not be doing, and authorities had to get involved. According to Devin Haru, because he's been on this from the get-go. How many hours ago was this now? So his post is timed July 24th, 2024 at 12:27 a.m. So just past midnight our time if you're in the Eastern time zone. He writes, waking up to the Canadian soccer news, a non-accredited member of Canada's soccer support team was detained by French authorities following a complaint by New Zealand Football. The staff member is believed to have been using a drone to record New Zealand's practice. Yeah, cheating by Canada, which is not what we do. It's not what we do. It's not our vibe. The Canadian Olympic Committee put out a statement. The Canadian Olympic Committee was made aware that a non-accredited member of the Canada soccer support team was detained by French authorities in Saint-Étienne following a complaint by New Zealand Football on July 22nd. The staff member is believed to have been using the drone to record the New Zealand women's football team during practice. The Canadian Olympic Committee stands for fair play, and we are shocked and disappointed. We offer our heartfelt apologies to New Zealand Football, to all the players affected, and to the New Zealand Olympic Committee. We are reviewing next steps with the IOC, Paris 2024, Canada Soccer, and FIFA. We will provide an update later today. Now, Devin goes on to report later on that New Zealand had formally lodged a full review of the Canadian drone incident, and their members reported the drone to the police. The New Zealand statement on the matter reads as following. On July 22nd, a drone was flown over the New Zealand women's football team training session in Saint-Etienne. Team support members immediately reported the incident to police, leading to the drone operator, who has been identified as a support staff member of the wider Canadian women's football team, to be detained. The NZOC, New Zealand Olympic Committee, has formally lodged the incident with the IOC Integrity Unit and has asked Canada for a full review. Team Canada has issued an apology and is investigating the circumstances surrounding the incident. The New Zealand Olympic Committee and New Zealand Football are committed to upholding the integrity and fairness of the Olympic Games and are deeply shocked and disappointed by this incident, which occurred just 3 days before the sides are due to face each other in their opening game of Paris 2024. At this time, the New Zealand Olympic Committee's main priority is to support the New Zealand women's football athletes and wider team as they start their campaign. Then it goes on, because people are wondering, well, like, what's a non-accredited, right? I mean, isn't everybody accredited at the Olympics? According to Devin, at the sorry, I got the wrong tweet here. Sorry. He says, teams at the Olympics travel with entourages, and accreditations are limited at the Games. Examples of this could be personal coaches, physiotherapists, trainers, videographers, etc. So somebody asked specifically what type of support staff would be non-accredited. So Devin got the answer for that. Then later
nice
on...
Background.
Pardon?
Nice background.
Yes, indeed. I didn't even notice. I just pressed click, and it's like even because I'm reading the stuff on the screen, and it's like, oh yeah, my background's different today. He wrote at 4 before 5 a.m. Eastern time, so just about 5 hours later, fewer than 5 hours later. Just in, hearing from sources close to Canada Soccer drone situation, there are sanctions coming against the person/persons involved within a few hours here in Paris. What those consequences will be, we'll find out shortly. And then later on, reported 2 hours ago that Canada's women's soccer coach, Bev Priestman, will be speaking to media shortly in Saint-Etienne as part of a planned press conference the day before the match, and you can be sure she will be peppered with questions about the drone situation. Sanctions are coming. And then I think just before we started the show, I saw this 33 minutes ago, breaking from Devon. 2 members of the Canadian women's soccer team staff are being sent home in the wake of the drone incident. A second incident was also revealed. And head coach Bev Priestman is being removed from coaching the opening match against New Zealand. Full details. Canadian Olympic Committee statement on drone incident in Saint-Etienne, July 24th. Following its review of the July 22 drone incident in Saint-Etienne, and upon learning of a second drone incident at a July 19th New Zealand practice, the Canadian Olympic Committee has imposed the following sanctions and consequences. Joseph Lombardi, an unaccredited analyst with Canada Soccer, is being removed from the Canadian Olympic team and will be sent home immediately. Jasmine Mander, an assistant coach to whom Mr. Lombardi reports to, is being removed from the Canadian Olympic team and will be sent home immediately. Canadian Olympic Committee has accepted the decision of head coach Bev Priestman to remove herself from coaching the match against New Zealand on July 25th. 4 Canada soccer staff will undergo mandatory ethics training. So it seems that it's the coach herself that said, you know what, since it could be thought that I have received information through this, I'm going to voluntarily step back from this one so that nobody can say. Yeah. This is extremely disappointing. Because one of the conversations we had is about doing things that distract the athletes from the task at hand.
Mhm.
This is one. This would definitely be one. And
Yeah,
it's not
you
an easy
can say that.
tool to start with. Like this, but not only this is not only right. Canada soccer and the Canadian women's soccer team, right? When you go to the Olympics, all the sports together, all the athletes from all the sports are Team Canada. They go to each other's sports,
They tend
right?
to, yeah, when they can.
When
Schedule
athletes from your nation start winning medals and then they go back to Canada House and they're mingling with other nations, it feeds the team, it fuels, it creates a vibe. All of Team Canada, before they even get on any field, any court, any pitch, because all of Team Canada has this. Selfish, 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 selfish. The two people who did that. Selfish. I mean, what did you think was going to happen? You would have got some stuff from that information. Like, I'm sure the people who did that probably didn't tell you, hey, I got this drone stuff and here's what we got. But they probably say, like this, okay, hey, Bev, what if we did this?
Mm.
What a wonderful idea. Oh, that worked out well. Well, really? This is not your moment, support staff. It's called support.
Yeah.
You're not supposed to be the story. This for me specifically, maybe not everybody sees it the same way, but for me specifically, I'm a total Olympic geek, right? I'm a total Canada fan. I'm sure when it comes to the Olympic, just in general, as a patriotic Canadian, because I'm probably I'm so patriotic that it's probably illegal in 3 provinces and 1 territory, because we just don't do that here. And when the Olympics happens, it's like I'm on steroids like this. And one of my big points of pride is that Canada is a fair play nation. The World Anti-Doping Agency is headquartered in Canada for a reason. Becky Scott.
Yeah.
Just Clara Hughes. I mean, like, come on, man. Yes, we do have the Ben Johnson thing and whatnot, but that was our national embarrassment. That's what, right? Made us recommit to that. So, I don't know, man. This particular, like, maybe I'm just unique, but this particularly makes me upset. Not cool. Not cool. Exactly, Kitland. It's not even like they couldn't get info that you could get from watching prior matches. So any inside scoop they thought unless Team New Zealand was working on this like super secret move, like when Roger Federer brought in the saber back, for a while. Like this, when he would just like people would serve him, would just rush the net and like, what the heck's this? I've never seen this before. What the hell? People didn't know what to do with it for a while. Like this, but unless they're like planning a super trick like that for this match only, because as soon as they do it, then people will start watching it on video and start analyzing it and try to figure out a way around it, right? Unless that was happening, there is absolutely nothing that could be gained from doing this. Man. WG. Talk about support staff. Tell that to my bra. Support is a necessity. My sense of humor needs a reset this morning. I think your sense of humor is quite fine.
I think you're okay.
Oh, man. So, yeah, it seems I would assume, as Kit PNC Bio says, we're assuming correctly or incorrectly that support staff did this unprompted. At the moment, I am also supposing that this is unprompted.
We don't know for sure.
We don't know for sure, but yes. That's correct. We are making an assumption here. I'm also one of the bases of my assumption is, of course, the fact that the coach voluntarily stepped aside from coaching rather than being told like this. It's like, in addition, we're going to take this extra step. So it would seem to me that is the action of someone that would be appalled that this happened. Then again, right? We don't know, but I'm not going to start expanding speculation as to whether or not the coach was in on it or anything like that. And it seems that drones have been an issue. It seems that, according to some news reports I've been reading, they've been like stopping about like 6 drones a day and whatnot. So I don't know if it's only us that's doing that or if it's just people, citizens that are sort of like, try to get some like groovy images in order to like to put on their social media. I mean, it could be anything, right? It reminds me of a story I had read a while ago that I think it was the Canadian synchronized swimming team back in the day had been invited to Russia for something, and they went, and apparently the Russians had like put a whole bunch of cameras like on the inside of the pool and stuff like that to like video record all the technique and whatnot. It was like, this is like way back in the day. This, and it was like people found out about it like a lot later. Apparently it was the thing. So I mean, so the trying to get to the competitive advantage thing, I mean, this is clearly not new, but yeah, for Canada, this is not our brand, man.
No, it's disappointing.
Yep. Carol, yeah, you don't have to be in on it. It's your responsibility, and it goes wrong, you take the responsibility. Exactly. And that's what I'm saying. It looks like everybody, other than the 2 support staff people with the Canadian Olympic Committee, with Canada Soccer, even with the immediate coaching, have done the things that they needed to do, and they've done it very quickly. And there's been no like, oh no, not us, never. It's been more like, what? Well, let's look into that. Whoa, you guys got to go. So it seems that there is authentic shock here because there was no attempt to resist or deny or whatnot.
No pushback.
And the action is very swift. So, but yeah, and there was other things. There were 2 other things going on too. I think there was a Japanese athlete, gymnast, who was removed by her team for having committed, breaking the team's code of conduct by smoking and drinking alcohol. A gymnast from Japan smoked and drank alcohol and got booted for her team. We drone video recorded an opposing team. It's just it doesn't seem like the same level of infraction, and then there was also an American athlete. Was it American or British? Oh, now I can't remember off the top of my head. But I'll try to look that up. But there was another athlete, but I think that was something a little more significant that had happened. So yeah, that's our Olympic stuff. I am very much looking forward to the games. I will be cheering. Hope you will too. But now, the news. Before, since we have Mr. Grizzly, sir, how's your mental health today?
Well, I'm running on about 2 hours sleep, so it's not great at the moment. I woke up to a 85-pound dog lying on my chest, licking my face. I'm like, what? Like, oh God. So I texted you right away, which is why we started really late. And yeah, I'm a bit of a mess right now, and I'm looking at an idiot from Alberta accosting the Prime Minister on a beach in Tofino while he's on vacation, and trying to figure out where in the bloody hell was the security, and how does this little Nazi prick think he has the right to accost somebody like that? and then go on about, oh, he controls his media. Listen, you little shit. If you came up to me like that, you might get punched in the face. All he did was try to push you away.
Yeah. Yeah, this is Keen Bexty and Cat Canada.
Two of the worst human beings in this country. Fuck them both. Seriously. They're horrible people. Horrible people. They really are. They piss me off to the nth degree.
See, now here's the thing. Like, part of me would like to show this.
I'm not going to show it. I'm looking at it right now, but I don't want to show it because I don't want to give him any air.
Well, that's the thing. But it is, the behavior is so. So here's the thing, right? He said he's going on vacation. They tracked his plane.
Mm-hmm.
Already, that's a problem. Then they showed up. He's on vacation with his family. I've heard some people say, did you see what he did with his when he was with his family? I don't know if the images that I see don't have his family around. I do see that there were other people there who sort of intervened a bit. I don't know if they Mr. Trudeau said, you guys take my family and move them or whatever, because there was nobody, they were there for a little bit, but there was nobody there to intervene, arrest, whatnot, So I'm not quite sure how everything went down, but he's got his little thing, his phone in his hand like this, and he's asking questions, and he's trying to get to the Prime Minister, and he's buzzing him around like a bee, and the Prime Minister's putting his hand like this. And Cian Bexley always does that thing, right? Don't touch me, like this. It keeps like this, keeps on going. I'm not touching you, but don't touch me, right? This is borderline stalking, if not stalking. The man is on vacation. Then the Prime Minister didn't have to do this. Shouldn't have done this. He should have been grabbed and marched out of there. Granted, the Futhermucker a 13-minute interview, where he posts stupid loaded leading questions most of the time. And on his promo, even though the Prime Minister gave him the grace, despite his behavior, of a 13-minute exclusive interview, rather than having his ass charged, still cut the video and edited it to the Prime Minister's on vacation? No, he was hiding out.
He's on vacation, and he says so in the goddamn video.
Right? And then, in another little clip that he's got there, he's like, the Prime Minister can't help but lie. You don't grant him the interview, they say you're hiding out, and you can't help but lie. You grant them the frickin' interview, they still say you're hiding out, and that you can't do anything but lie. That's why I keep on saying, oh, we can't do this. We can't do this. We can't arrest the white people getting mad and hijacking the city for weeks on sale. What if they get mad? What if they revolt? What if they get violent? What if they will, regardless, do the right thing. Charge them. Yeah, it is backfiring, kid. You don't do this.
The man is on vacation. He's allowed a vacation. He takes less vacation time than the average Canadian.
Yes. And his vacations are not actually vacations because he's always on call.
That's just it, right? He could be out on that beach just staring out at the ocean, and then, boom, somebody comes running to him and hands him a phone, and that's it. It's done. It's over. He doesn't get a break in that job.
Yeah. And he's got everything there wherever he is, on the plane or wherever like this, to be able to do work, should it need. Work that needs to be done that maybe won't require him to leave where he is for his vacation. But all of a sudden, if he has to put in 7 hours, the secure phone, the line, all that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It's like this type of behavior is unacceptable. It's unacceptable. But he got his interview.
Yeah. It's the only
So
one.
now-
the only way he was ever going to get one, because he's not an accredited journalist. He's not a reporter.
No, he keeps on calling himself a journalist. He doesn't. No.
He's not a journalist.
Hopefully,
he's not a reporter. He's an obnoxious little prick.
Yes, but hopefully, yes, the Prime Minister gave him this interview this time. Tries this shit again. Cuff the fucker.
Yeah. Have him arrested. He could have had him arrested for that. He accosted him on a beach.
Yeah. Kit Sassy's got there, and I've seen it too. I've seen numerous posts of, I don't like Trudeau, but. Yep, exactly. You don't mess with the kids.
Nope.
I don't. He's a recently separated parent spending time with his kids. The kids did not sign up for this.
No.
There are boundaries. That's what these people respect nothing and no one.
Exactly.
And that's why you can't rely on the reporting. There are ways to do renegade investigative reporting. There are ways. You see people hounding people and stuff like that, as they are going to their car on their way to work. Not on vacation, not tracking their plane. This is not cool. Not cool.
No.
All right.
And
so
I thought I saw him last night, but it wasn't him. Like, honest to God, like I was walking along the street a few weeks ago before I went on vacation, and I swear to goodness gracious that I walked right by David Parker. And last night I was sitting out on a patio, and I looked up and I'm like, is that Nazi Caillou? It better not be, because if he's in my neighborhood at my pub, I'm going to walk up to him and punch him in the face.
No, do not say that.
Oh, I'm telling you, that might very well happen.
No.
I'm being honest with you here.
Miss Grizzly, number one, we do not advocate violence.
No, we
right?
don't.
And we don't want to get this show clicked. So,
but that
wanting
little puke
to
has got it coming.
Wanting to punch him in the face is a normal human feeling. Actually doing it, we're talking about doing it, a totally different.
I know.
Totally different thing.
I know. What I want to do and what I'm going to do are two different things. Okay.
That's why I was saying the formulation, I might go and do it. Let's not put the I might go.
I really
and do
want
it
to.
out there.
I really want to. But I know that doing so will only satisfy him, and it will harm me.
You'll get 3 seconds of and then a lifetime of
shit.
I know, and all that.
I recognize that, and that little puke would milk that to the ends of the earth.
Yeah, exactly. Just sit there. And remember, closing, Mr. Jim says, that makes it premeditated. Also, closing your eyes and going 1, 2, 3, boom, also makes it premeditated. Just saying. But yes. Dieter McPherson on Twitter at DM McPher, MACPHER. Kian comes across as desperate and rambling. The PM seems poised but tired. At some point, you have to have sympathy for the Prime Minister. He waved off the Personal Protection Service on his family vacation to stand proud against a man who just wants to farm gotchas for a living. And Greg McEachern, former... was he ever a journalist? I can't remember. But he's a political commentator. He's often on the news. I just don't know if he has a journalist background.
I met him a few weeks ago.
Yeah, and is now doing comms. But quote, from what I've seen of the Prime Minister's beach interview, it seems to be like the Trump convention speech. The longer you watch this, the more it has the opposite effect as intended. Let the guy have his vacation. Let him be with his kids. Yeah. I think the prime minister had a choice there at that point and like decided, you know what, let's just give the guy what it is that he wants and see what happens. And while I personally would have been much more happy with Keane's bony white ass getting... actually, I cannot state for a fact whether his ass is bony.
But
but
you're right. We don't know.
All I'm saying is, yes, I would have loved to see him arrested, but I think maybe ultimately that the prime minister decided, you know what? You want to dance? Let's dance.
Well,
might have ended up being the smarter decision.
From our friend Jason on the network. A certain someone on vacation should have taken the gloves off and pulled the jersey over that snot-nosed cartoon-looking dweeb's dumbass face. But that certain someone is much classier than I am. I mean, it's not really a high bar or anything.
Okay, Jason.
Jason, I know exactly how you feel.
I think that's Jason's version of petty is my favorite color. But yes, hockey style, yes, pull the shirt over. Oh, man. What that guy. I can't believe that. Listen, I'm all for freedom of speech and I'm all for very tough questions and investigative reporting and whatnot like this, but we need some laws, man. We need some laws. Christopher Freeland, was it twice now?
Yeah.
The elevator, and then with David Menzies, and then and let's not just talk those. I mean, Melissa Landsman put in some complaints at one point, and there was another conservative person. Like, there needs to be some ground rules again. Because you can't just call yourself, because we don't consider ourselves journalists, but we are media. Independent media is a thing. Now, some independent media want to do citizen journalism. But if you're going to do citizen journalism, you need to adhere to the principles of journalism. Being an independent media doesn't mean that you don't get to follow the rules. Usually it's supposed to mean that you hold yourself to an even higher standard of some type. Either you got a media literacy angle, or you got a social service, community service angle, or you got something going on and you commit to it. Well, but this stuff, just saying, "Hey, I'm independent," and we don't ask the questions that the other ones won't ask. Well, it's like, yeah, it's because you ask dumb questions.
Because you want to get a soundbite.
Not all questions are equal, but we ask the questions. We're rebels. We're mavericks. So, hey, we're just gonna like this. Real investigative reporting is hunting people down on their vacations. No. There's not. We need some rules. We need some laws. Exactly. Yes, somebody's going to get seriously hurt.
Bonzi show. Are you accusing me of being a fucking coward?
Hey, no. We're not doing this. We don't take the bait.
No, I'm asking him a question.
We don't take the bait. Because
anybody who knows me knows better than to make that accusation.
We don't take the bait.
I know. I'm going to have to go. I'm going to have to go. I'm running on 2 hours sleep.
But
I'm not in a good head.
If you can tell me how it is that we do ban, because Bonzi's a little bit of a shit disturber here.
Today, not every day. Some days he isn't.
You're professional hate mongers, not media. You go. So what do I click?
I'll take. I got it.
Okay.
So Bonzi,
sorry, the Bonzi show.
You gotta go.
You gotta go.
Because we're not going to tolerate this type of shit. So I'm blocking you on YouTube, and I am adding you to the block list on chat, on Restream chat. So you're gone. Sorry, you're gone. You're going to be like that. You've been civil up till this moment. If you're going to be like that, we have to ban you.
Sorry, hate mongers. No, there's the line. We don't do the hate thing. We don't do the hate thing. Because there's a lot of things you can say about us if you want to. With hate mongers, not our vibe.
No.
Mr. Grizzly sometimes gets passionate.
I just can't.
Yes.
I'm not. No.
But, right? And when things get a little hot, I'm here. But like, well, no, not that far. But hate monger, no.
You can accuse
No.
me of a lot of things, and I'll defend myself on every single one of them. But you cross the line, that's it. You're done. You're finished. Goodbye.
Yeah.
You can watch. You could watch all day, but you can't chat anymore because I've blocked you.
Yeah, cowardly and hate monger and all that kind of. We don't do that stuff. That's not cool. That's not cool. The house rules in the chat is do not first assume the worst of each other.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the house rules. Everyone is here to contribute to the community. We do not first assume the worst intentions of fellow kids. That includes us. And we of you. We do not do that language here.
And on that note, I am going to go because I'm heated and I'm running on 2 hours sleep. Okay. And my head is not in the right space right now. So I'm going to take off. I know you've got it from here. I think it's probably the best call for me for today.
Okay.
And I will chat with you later, sir.
Taking you in my arms and giving you a big hug.
See you.
Rest well, my friend. All right. Ooh. Well, geez. I didn't think that when I put in the episode description that there was drama today. I was thinking just of the Olympics in Keene. I didn't think that we would produce a little bit of our own, but yeah, that is that's just, man, that's so disappointing. That is just so disappointing. Wow. That's not what we're about. I just, I'm actually really surprised at that. Okay, listen, you know what? Here's a piece of advice. Kids and Cubs life advice. Learn the hard way by me. Nobody can make you feel bad about yourself without your express permission. You literally have to hand over your power and surrender it to that person. Yes. So I have a policy of I don't take advice from people from whom I would not accept criticism. Yes. When someone refers to me as a hate monger, there's a visceral thing that happens inside. And I know it's bait. I know that's why it's said. It's to push that button to get us to react. To push the button that got Mr. Grizzly to go off. Because then they can grab that and go point that and go, see. This person tried to make me feel bad about myself. And though I am affected right here, just under the solar plexus, right here, this vibrating. But I do not consent. You do not have my permission to make me feel bad about myself. So no, it's not going to happen. You do what you do, and I'm just going to keep on living my best life with the best damn fam in all of podcasting. All right. Wildfire news, kids and cubs. More than 25,000 people, 25,000 people have left Jasper, Alberta. Oh, you know what? Before we continue, this is a beautiful comment. Kit Johnny. And for the kits who are not aware, Kit Johnny, again, is the very, very first person who recognized me on the street from having done this show. And then I got to meet him again while I was doing a play recently. And if you happen to be in the Kingston area, I think it is on the 27th. He's part of a great band called Laser Bear, who will be doing a show. And I'm not sure if their music is available online, but if it is, Johnny, please put a link there. And Kits, I encourage you to support this wonderful, wonderful artist. All right. But he said, "You two are awesome, not hate mongers at all. It is a brave thing the both of you have committed to do. It can't be easy some days. Much love and respect to you both." And thank you. Thank you. Love you. All right. Jasper. More than 25,000 people have left Jasper, Alberta. The mayor, Richard Ireland, says, "I want to expand great credit to our residents and all of our visitors who complied with the order when it was issued and safely got themselves out of the community." There are some really fast-growing wildfires that are burning through Jasper National Park right now, and they're quickly closing in on the Rocky Mountain tourist town of Jasper, where Mr. Grizzly was not too long ago. It's all hands on deck from firefighting planes, helicopters, ground crews, heavy machinery. They're trying to protect the town from not one, but two out of control fires that sprung up quickly on Monday after weeks of hot, dry weather. Again, I wish I could find it, kids and cubs, but the fire map of Alberta that I saw the other day that I could show you just how red it was. But that's the thing. It's the like there's no fire, but there's so much fuel and they're so dry that something happens and it could just like pop up. There we go. I think this was it. It was July 10th. Let's see if I can, I'm in a different production suite, so let's see if I can get that up for you. There it is. Now, if you look at, if the kits who are listening at home won't be able to understand this, but purple is low on the map. There's absolutely no purple. Green is moderate. There is no green. Like this, yellow is high. There is a little bit of green. Yes, right there and there. Yellow is high, and there's like two dots of yellow, little dots of yellow. And then everything red, very high, and pink, extreme. And I would say, probably safely, and Kits, you can tell me if my assessment is wrong, about 97% of the map is at very high or extreme. And that was on July 9th. We are 15 days later with not much more rain. So, yeah. That's it's bad. So yeah, it just fires just popped up. These fires are exhibiting, this is a quote, "These fires are exhibiting aggressive fire behavior," say Parks Canada officials. And they say that the evacuation of the national park is complete, which was no small feat, given the number of people they had to get rid of, and like some of the tourists are camping and hiking and all that kind of stuff, right? Most of them are heading west towards British Columbia. Officials say that so far no buildings have been damaged from the out-of-control wildfires, but with so much smoke, it's actually hard to tell, to be sure. The incident commander with Parks Canada, Katie Ellsworth, says, quote, "We are still assessing the impacts of the infrastructure in the south wildfire, and we do hope in the coming days with some cooler temperatures and hopefully some rain that will have some clear air and some breathing room, frankly." Some of the Jasper evacuees are reported to be heading back towards Alberta through the southern part of the province as they're leaving. Katie Ellsworth also says that though the evacuation of the town site is complete, the evacuation of hikers in the back country is still ongoing. Quote, "Our priority right now is to protect the community of Jasper by limiting wildfire growth towards the town along Highway 16 and to protect critical infrastructure. The flames are now burning about 12 kilometers south of the town. Officials admit that some mistakes were made and that there was some confusion during the initial evacuation of Jasper on Monday night. The mayor says, quote, "This is a dynamic, evolving situation, and it has been from the outset. The response will never be perfect. There are reception centers now open in Calgary and Grand Prairie to help the evacuees." Going to take a little sip of water here since I'm all alone. Thank you for your patience there, everyone. All right. So that's what I have for the wildfires. Next big news, of course, has to do with what's going on south of us. I know we're tired. Some people are tired of talking about it. And you know what? In some ways, I'm tired of talking about it too, because it's just, I want off the ride. It's one of the things I was really looking forward to when Biden became president was boring. It's like, but Trump is so exciting. There's always something happening. I like boring. I grew a whole new appreciation for bland and boring after Trump. Oh man, I tell you. Oh my God, it's been something. But it also is like the biggest news story. I mean, it's just the number of things that have happened over the last, when you put it all together, it's like, if you're a political show, how can you not talk about it? As yesterday we mentioned that Kamala Harris did secure the delegates that she needs in order to be able to secure the nomination. Apparently, they're not calling her the prospective nominee yet, simply because people have not voted. But all the states have been called, and it seems that the states, their delegates are all pledging and whatnot, and she's got way, way, way more than enough. That it's pretty much only a formality until it happens. Former Speaker Nancy Pelosi had not given her endorsement initially, but she had, I think, at some point the day before yesterday. And then current Speaker Hakeem Jeffries and Senate Leader Chuck Schumer had not. But they were saying that they were waiting to have a meeting with her, which did happen yesterday, after which they had given their endorsement. So it seems that all the people that are key have given the endorsement, with the possible exception of Joe Manchin, but fuck that guy. Right. So there were about 9 different people that were being talked about as a potential vice presidential candidate. It seems that she has asked for background information on 6 of them. I don't know if that means that she's not interested in the other 3. One of the three that were not on the list was Governor of Kentucky, Andy Beshear, who's absolutely like killing it. And it's really interesting because Kentucky has a Democratic governor. Actually, they do. I think for the first time in a long time. I mean, the state house and Senate and whatnot are probably still quite Republican, but everybody seems to love this Beshear guy. And well, you know, he is from a part of the nation with which the Democrats could do better. So nationally, everybody was thinking he would be on the short list, but it seems he is not. The other person that is not on the short list is Pete Buttigieg, the Secretary of Transportation. Now, I don't know if that's just because she doesn't need any more information on him, given that they're both part of the same cabinet for all intents and purposes, or not. So, but she did ask for information on about 6 different people. If it seems that, at least from the conventional wisdom, that the 2 main frontrunners, at least based on what people are predicting, would be Senator from Arizona, Mark Kelly, who is also an astronaut. And one of the reasons, well, also it's an important swing state, and you know, pretty solid guy, I mean, an astronaut, right? So smart and believes in science and that type of stuff. But Also, it seems that the rules in Arizona are such that the governor there would be allowed to replace him with someone who's also a Democrat, so they wouldn't lose a seat in the Senate. It would stay under the Republican banner. The other name that is being brandied about is, oh God, it's just the governor of Pennsylvania, Josh Shapiro, which is also a major swing state, and given the population has a lot of electoral college votes. So I'm not sure what there would be taking a seat out because it's a governorship. So that would be a different. But yeah, those seem to be the two names that are bandied about the most, based on what the conventional wisdom seems to be. I'm still hoping Buttigieg, though, because as far as I'm concerned, he's the more effective communicator. And again, because petty is my favorite color. It's just like, if you think that a female biracial, one of the races being black, president, the potential for one would make heads explode. The only thing that could make heads explode more than maybe a ticket with two women, if she chooses Gretchen Whitmer, is a woman such as Kamala Harris, and then a married gay man with two children who can speak to evangelists is quite comfortable on Fox News and has a military background. Which also, when we're talking about things that can shore up stuff, could help shore up Kamala Harris, because everybody says, oh, well, they got no defense policy. She's a woman, so she's going to be weak, right? And all that kind of stuff. So I was like, we need a man. It's like, okay, we'll get you, military man. By the way, he's gay. That's probably the only thing that could make a head explode more than a two-women ticket. Not sure if America's ready for that. Who knows? Maybe. I mean, Buttigieg is quite appreciated. So, but yeah, that's where we're standing with that. Also, in other news regarding to that, it seems that the head of the Secret Service, can't remember her first name off the top of my head, but her last name is Cheadle, has stepped down. Secret Service director stepped down after the assassination attempt against ex-President Trump at the rally. So she had testified before committee, and then she has been serving as Secret Service director since August 22nd, and she had been called upon to resign several times. She said, I take full responsibility for the security lapse. In light of recent events, it is with heavy heart that I've made the difficult decision to step down as your director. It's unlikely to end the scrutiny, of course, because that was a major, major failure. But she said, the scrutiny over the last week has been intense and will continue to remain as our operational tempo increases. The resignation comes a day after she appeared before a congressional committee, and she was berated for hours by both Democrats and Republicans for the security failures. She called the attempt on Mr. Trump's life the Secret Service's, quote, most significant operational failure in decades, and she took full responsibility, as mentioned before by reading her quote. She remained defiant, however, on Monday that she was the right person to lead the security service. I guess somebody talked to her. This seems to be a common thing, right? It's like, I remember the guy from Hockey Canada. Well, I would like to have a chance to fix it. It's like, dude, you took the money that a portion of the money that parents put to register their kids in hockey, and then used it to create separate bank accounts with legal defense funds and stuff like that, and then to try to make your balance sheet look lower so people wouldn't sue you for really. And now you think you wanted, like, these were all your first instincts while it was happening, and now you're going to stand there and look at us and say you deserve a chance to fix it? No, you don't. You don't. Like, man. So, no, when there's a lapse like this, you don't get to stand in front of a committee and say like this, yes, I'm the right person to fix. No, you don't. You just have to go. You have to fall on the sword and you have to go. It's fair or not fair. You just have to go. So yeah, she has resigned. Going back to some vice presidential discussion, it would seem that the Republicans, we hinted about it yesterday, but had a total and complete meltdown once Biden resigned. You've got Trump like crying and whining that they should all get their money back, be refunded for all the money that they spent making plans and I guess buying anti-Biden t-shirts and having to store them somewhere. Or like, I don't know, man. But you really got the impression yesterday, and then you had Speaker Mike Johnson saying, we're going to challenge this and bring this to court because, it's not fair that she's getting on the ballot. This has got to be illegal somehow, right? And then a couple hours later, again on CNN says, oh, no, we're not afraid of her at all. We'll take her on. It's like, really? Because like a couple hours later, you were saying that you wanted to take this to court to try and block her from being on the top of the ticket. It was almost, like I say, Megyn Kelly also. She put out something, basically accused Kamala Harris of sleeping her way to the top. So, all the good that she did with Me Too. I mean, I can't say that the bad you do negates the good, but because, the good is the good and it happens. But all respect I had for her from Me Too, gone. This is ridiculous. So, yeah, we have... It's almost like the Republicans really, really thought that all they could do is keep on saying, because Trump is 3 years younger, well, fuck, Joe Biden is so old. Look at him. He's so old. Look at, he stuttered. Look at that. He's losing his mind. He's moving slowly. He won't be able to do the next 4 years. He's old. He's old. He's old. Yes. And they were going to ride that horse to the victory. I was like, no, there's no enthusiasm for him. He's boring. He's old. And it's almost like, they kept on telling him he should go and step aside and whatnot, but it's like they woke up and it's like, what, the motherfucker actually did it? What do we do now? They spent the whole next day and the day after, still campaigning against Biden. It's like, you look at Donald Trump's Truth Social thing and everybody else, and it's like Lauren Boebert, all of them like this, they're like campaigning against Biden. Like this. Even yesterday, they were turning around. I think one of them was asking for proof of life from Biden, saying he's actually dead, isn't he? They're using AI because the Kamala Harris was accepting, and Joe Biden was on the phone. Apparently, it was a lovely, lovely moment. She was making a speech, and he was saying, "I know Joe's listening." Says, "I'm listening. I'm watching you, kid. I'm watching you, kid. I love you." And everybody in there was going to go. So. Yeah, you would think that they would have been ready. It just seems that they were not ready whatsoever, and that they don't have a plan. They don't know what to do now. They're really actually scared. And Trump seems to be right pissed, and it seems so pissed because, the master strategist was clearly outwitted, because since he picked his VP first, and then Biden stepped aside after saying that he wouldn't. Now he said, well, I need to see who she's going to pick as a VP like this. And then I'll pick mine. Like, what's this? I thought that we were running against the black lady so that I could dog whistle as the VP. Like, what does I would have never picked him if, right? So apparently, his VP pick is, I don't know if JD Vance has lasted a Scaramucci yet, but it seems that Ronald Rumprose may already be having buyer's remorse. Especially after that first speech that JD Vance did, that, it's the only thing that was missing was for him to say after, please clap. It was bad. It was really bad. And then the other thing that's not helping him is that there's a internet rumor going around about him that is absolutely not true. But I don't think people much care. And the rumor is, and I guess I'll outright say it because, but it is, I don't want to say saucy, but it is not the best. There is a rumor going around that JD Vance wrote in his book, Hillbilly Elegy, that he may have had a rather sensual interlude with certain inanimate objects. It's an account, ATHR, or at Rick Rude's Calves, quote, "Can't say for sure, but he might be the first VP pick to have admitted in a New York Times best-selling to effing an inside-out latex glove shoved between two couch cushions. Vance Hillbilly Elegy, pages 179 to 181. Now, the thing about this little bit is by adding the thing, pages 179 to 181, well then, people said, well, holy shit. If he's actually quoting the pages that this is on, it must be true. And they spread it like wildfire before going to open the book at pages 179 to 181 to see what was there. The rumor was false. Vance's memoir contains no such passage, this is according to Snopes. Further, as knowyourmeme.com reported, at Rick Rude's Cabs, who later protected his account so only followers could see his posts, signaled that he was joking when he followed the tweet with this meme here. And, actually, that's not the full picture, but I did find the full picture. So here it is, kits and cubs. So he said that he did this thing between the couch cushions in a turned out latex glove. And then below it, he posted a meme. It's a cartoon of a rabbit sitting by his computer desk saying, "You really think someone would do that? Just go on the internet and tell lies?" So, Kitlinda M, I read Hillbilly Elegy. I don't remember that part. Yeah, there was a whole thing with him and Mountain Dew as well. Oh, kids, Kid Carol, it was very couchy. So yes, so that when they say like a rumor, that rumor has spread around and a lot of people believe it is true, but it is actually not true. Oh, okay, it's Baxter, the rabbit from Arthur. Okay. Well, now that really makes sense, the whole innocence thing that goes with it. So, yeah, I, because, kids and cubs, I am known to stir a pot or two now and then. I kind of did this. So, hey, kids, it's time to play. You really think someone would do that on the internet? Just do that? Just go on the internet and tell lies? And here's what I put out the challenge. So, apparently, the JD Vance is a sofa sexual thing, is a wink wink, go on the internet and tell lies hoax prank. In that spirit, Canada, what's your best totally true, wink wink, but funny as F, PP story? So if you want to go on there and find that thread and give us your best, this is totally true rumor about Bibi. Or heck, even if you want to do your it's totally true rumor about me. Ooh. Let me know what it is. Or Mr. Grizzly. Hey, hey, I'll let you in a little secret. About 75% of the best rumors out there about me, or the juiciest ones, are ones I've started myself. Got to keep myself interesting. See, that's a totally untrue wink rumor about myself. So, yeah, if you want to have a little fun, please join in and play. Other things going on. This is a little broader than the U.S., but it's happening in the U.S. Israel Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is there for a visit. Picked a great time. Sorry. Oh, oops, we have a Mateo alert. Attention, please. Mateo wants me to say hi to everyone. Hello, Mateo. Hello, my friend. Big beaver hugs for you. All right. There you go. And I knocked the microphone away from me as I was giving Mateo a hug here. I hope you have a wonderful day in store. And hi, Jay-Z. Hi, Rain. Hi, Mohan. Hi, Miss Sadeka. Hello, the whole family. So yeah, he showed up, and apparently he's going to be addressing, I guess, Congress today or something. And so far his visit is going down with a thud. It's just not, it's not happening for him. He was greeted by major demonstrations on Capitol Hill by Jewish protesters condemning the war in Gaza. There's a plot twist. He made a promise of a friendly message because everybody is wondering, is he going to do to Biden the same thing he did to Obama the last time he came to address Congress? Because talk about election interference or political interference. He wasn't the kindest in his remarks. Let's just put it. He was invited into the house and decided to pee on the carpets and wipe himself with the drapes. He was not a very good guest. So people are wondering if he will try that again. He made some time yesterday to have a visit with Trump, but he's been having trouble scheduling the meetings. Things have been rescheduled and unscheduled and rescheduled and had to be moved around. And same thing with meetings that he's got planned with now nominee, well, not nominee, but soon to be nominee Harris and current President Biden. He did say that regardless who the American people choose as their next president, Israel remains America's indispensable and strong power in the Middle East. Some Democrats, like Representative Alexio Ocasio-Cortez, will be boycotted it, saying, I don't think Netanyahu should be here. So yeah, his meetings with people he needs to meet have been scheduled and rescheduled. Even his meeting with Donald Trump took days to organize. So I'm not sure how many friends he's got really here. But we'll see. He's here. He's going to try and do something. But yeah, I think when that trip was scheduled, he hadn't planned on all this stuff happening. And there's only so much bandwidth. So I don't suspect, as big as the Israel-Gaza situation is on the global scene, he might be doing all of this for not much more than a womp womp. Right? So yeah, not great. Ooh, darn. The rumors are starting already. Kit PNC Bio, there's a rumor you're gay. Darn. Well, you know what? I will neither confirm nor deny. And Mr. Jim goes, he's not gay, but his boyfriend is. Oh my God. You all are funny. I love it. Today is a big day in the financial world because at around 9:45 a.m., the Bank of Canada will be issuing a statement as to whether or not there will be an interest rate cut announced, and it will be followed by an address by Tiff Macklem and press availability at 10:30. That's usually the way things happen. Oh, have a great day, Johnny. Thank you for dropping in. There we go. Yes, and I will put that little thing there. There we go. For Johnny, for the kids who are watching, there you go. To find about Laser Bear. There you go. So yeah, the announcement is coming today. I think over 90% is the market consensus that there will be an interest rate cut. Employment numbers here and on the other side of the border. Retail numbers, which apparently were not as great in Canada. Unemployment, which has been creeping up a little, not so much because jobs are not being created, they are, but because population growth is still exceeding the growth, employment creation. So those types of things, but all these factors all led to believe that the Bank of Canada will lower the rate again, so that would bring it down to 4.5% after hitting a high of 5. It will be the lowest that the interest rate has been since April 2023. So that is good for people who are renewing and stuff like that. Lower interest rates is always better. It takes a couple of days for the banks to announce whether or not they're going to pass it through and all that kind of stuff, and how much of it, and that all that good stuff. But yeah, it seems pretty, unless there's like a major surprise that's going to happen. It seems that the data is also indicating that in the United States, they will have their first cut in September, which will keep the spread between the countries not as wide. So far, market consensus is that we can expect a total of 4 rate cuts this year, so there would be 2 more coming in the fall and in the winter. And long speculation has been that there could be 2 more cuts at some point next year. I'm not sure, which would bring us down to about 3.5%. I'm not sure if there's a possibility of going as low as 3. Perhaps if the U.S. cuts a few times more, that could give us the margin without widening the spread between our two nations. But I would be very, very surprised if we went below 3. As I keep on mentioning, I've mentioned this several times on the show, you do want to have a Bank of Canada interest rate that at least leaves some room to cut interest rates and without going into negative interest rate territory in case of a recession. So 3% is probably a good number for that type of contingency. I got Kit Saucy going, putting a comment here. Oh, I will be looking at a 60% increase in my mortgage. Mine is 2.79 now. Yep, because we when we had we took a variable when we started, assuming that the rates would stay low, and we got caught in the up. And we were thinking of locking in, but our mortgage advisor very wisely said, take the hit now, because the pendulum usually swings too far one way and it will come back. And then when it does come back, then lock it in at that point, because as the rates are going up, there's a thing in investing where they say don't try to catch a falling knife with interest rates. It's the other way around. It's sort of if rates are rising and there's always a pendulum swing, it's going to come back. Sometimes when you lock in in a panic as rates are rising, because yes, they will go beyond for a bit, but when they come back down, then you've locked yourself in at a higher rate than at which they came down, and then you're paying that higher rate than everybody is for, like, let's say in a 5-year term, for the last 3 years of the term instead. So he gave us some very, very wise advice. So the last few months have been a little tighter, but now we're getting a little bit of relief. And if it does actually go down to 3 or even 3.5, that will be that will make a noticeable difference in terms of our monthly cash flow and what's left over at the end of the month. So very, very, it is good news. Of course, Pierre Polyev can't be happy for us, so expect a whole bunch of counter programming from him today. David Doyle, who's the head of economics with Quarry Group in Toronto, says he expects to see interest rates drop, but not just because inflation is lower than this time last year. This is according to the CBC. He says, I think increasingly there will be concerns about growth and in particular the undesirable rise in unemployment, which is kind of interesting to hear because at the beginning of the raising of the interest rates, one of the specific goals of the Bank of Canada was indeed to try and increase unemployment by a little bit. So it seems that there might be some market pressure coming for that to pull back. So I'm not sure if there's still certain sectors where places are severely understaffed, because there are places that are cutting as well now. So we will see about that. But that's the announcement that will be coming out today. So keep your ears peeled for that. And there will be more analysis after that. And hopefully I will be able to bring it to you. Other news, it's going to be a big thing that you're going to be hearing about. It's the new bridge between Canada and the United States, because it's going to be called the Gordie Howe International Bridge. So it'll connect Detroit and Windsor. Is one step closer to being a full reality. Dignitaries are meeting this afternoon at the halfway mark, where it seems that the last stage, I guess it is, or the last span, not sure what they actually call it in this case when you're building a bridge, will officially mark the joining of both sides of the bridge. The architect of the bridge, Dorian Moore, says, quote, I think it will become an icon and one of those postcards moments. Apparently the bridge has some towering spires and a network of cables that reach across the river to connect the countries. So when you have these types of things, people talk wax poetically, to connect both culturally and economically on both sides. But the bridge almost never happened, and I think we reported on this in our early episodes. There is a person, it seems that the Ambassador Bridge, the bridge that's there, is actually privately owned. It's not a public bridge, it's privately owned. And the owner of the bridge tried to go to court to block the right for this new bridge, which is needed because of the traffic. But he had a monopoly on traffic back and forth and didn't want to do that. So Matty Maroon, who's a billionaire, he fought tooth and nail against the project. He even paid for an ad on Fox and Friends in 2018 to encourage President Trump to stop the project, to revoke the presidential permit. He basically said, revoke the presidential permit and let the grand new span be American. Why shouldn't the span be both? Anyway, now this project here is Canadian funded. I'm not clear on whether or not it's 100% Canadian funded or not, but it is at least partially Canadian funded. Rakesh Naidu, who's the president of the Windsor-Essex Chamber of Commerce, says the new bridge will be a big economic driver. Quote, this is one of the busiest commercial crossings in North America. About $400 billion of goods crosses the border every day. It's a lifeline for Canada. Now, the bridge isn't slated to open until September of 2025, so there's still over a year to go. But technically, when that last span goes in, we will have another connection between our countries, even though we can't start crossing it yet. So that's a kind of big news. and hopefully, if if we're planning to increase trade and things are getting busy, hopefully we will. That will be a boon to us. I see Kit has written in the chat that Matty had passed away a while back. And Kit Elaine says, and Elaine would know, I guess, because she's from the area, says, yes, it's 100% Canadian funded. So it seems that we offered to build the Americans an extra bridge to increase trade. So I guess that was probably part of the dynamics. I guess since the bridge was privately owned, well, let's have a publicly owned one or whatnot. It's like, well, the Americans were probably against it and whatnot. And Canada says, okay, well, what if we pay for it all then? Well, can't get better than free. So probably, I would say that probably changed a few minds. So good job. Good job. Another thing, actually kind of interesting that we have like two very major infrastructure projects, if we consider like the TMX pipeline being built and this bridge, extra bridge to the United States during the mandate. It's kind of interesting to see big infrastructure projects actually go ahead and get completed. It's not something that we're very used to, I would say, in this case. Let's see what else I have for you here in the news. Oh, yes, another tidbit with regards to Netanyahu's visit to the United States. Because of the fact that Joe Biden is no longer in the running to be the next president, but Kamala Harris is. The bilateral meeting that he's got scheduled with her is no longer a bilateral meeting, technically with just the vice president, right? But with the soon-to-be presumptive nominee for the party. And judging by certain polls, there's a Reuters poll that came out the other day that now indicates that Kamala Harris has a lead over Trump, which might be explaining more panic and why it is that Trump is looking at ditching JD Vance. But as we keep on seeing on the internet, so now you Republicans believe in abortion. No, you need to carry him to term. And I'm not sure if there is a, given that everybody voted in the primaries, whatnot, and then Donald Trump made the announcement. I mean, they didn't vote for Vance in the primaries like they did for Kamala Harris on the Democratic side because Trump hadn't chosen his nominee now. But now that the convention's over and he's picked them, is there a way for him to actually get rid of him and actually name a new one? Is there a process for that? Nobody seems to know. Thank you, Kid Vim. It's called the last phase on the bridge, not the last man, but the last phase and not the last stage. Thank you. I appreciate it. I knew I had it wrong. It didn't seem right, but I didn't know what the term was. So that meeting between Kamala Harris and Benjamin and Netanyahu takes on a whole different tone and tenor. And while Kamala Harris is a dutiful and loyal vice president, her position on the matter differs a little bit than the one of President Biden. So she is reiterating. She's predicted that she'll do the normal American political thing, which is to reiterate the commitment to Israel's security and the right to defend itself. But there's a quote from her that says, "It is time for the war to end in a way where Israel is secure, all the hostages are released, and the suffering of Palestinian..." Sorry, I'm tripped over my tongue here. "It is time for the war to end in a way where Israel is secure, all the hostages are released, suffering of Palestinian civilization..." I'm tripping over my tongue. Okay, let me try it this way. Yes, Israel secure, the hostages are released, the suffering of the civilians in Gaza stops, and the Palestinian people can enjoy the right to dignity, freedom, and self-determination. I am sorry, Kamala, for screwing your quote. But yes, so it seems that she is more of the let's freaking go and get this thing ended than President Biden might be. And that might have been one of the issues with regard to some lack of enthusiasm from certain demographics within the United States for the Biden campaign there. But yeah, it's a bit more of a bolder and forward-looking and firmer call. So that will be interesting to see on what happens there with her. There it is. Sorry, I'm jumping around a little bit over here and there, kids and cubs, but hopefully you're able to stay with me. The story at the beginning of the beginning of the show, where I was talking about Olympians that had done things that should not have done. This is one here. This was the third one I couldn't remember, but it was from the British Olympic team. And this one is really going to be a hit to the British team because this person is a legend and was a huge medal hopeful. 3-time Olympic gold medalist Charlotte Dujardin of Britain has withdrawn from the Paris Games after a video emerged that she says shows her behaving inappropriately while coaching other riders. She says the video is from 4 years ago, quote, shows me making an error of judgment during a coaching session. It wasn't clear which video she referred to or specifically what it shows, but she said the International Federation for Equestrian Sport is investigating. Quote, what happened was completely out of character and does not reflect how I train my horses or coach my pupils. However, there is no excuse. I am deeply ashamed and should have set a better example in that moment. I am sincerely sorry for my actions and devastated that I have let everyone down, including Team Great Britain, fans, and sponsors. The Federation said it's investigating and that Dujardin has been provisionally suspended from all events under the body's jurisdiction pending results of the probe. The British Equestrian Federation has also made her ineligible for national events. The Federation says that it received a video on Monday from a lawyer representing, quote, an undisclosed complainant that was filmed during a training session at a private stable. The Federation says that the athlete in question had confirmed that she was the individual shown and that she requested her own provisional suspension. Quote, the International Federation for Equestrian Sport condemns any conduct contrary to the welfare of horses and has robust rules in place to address such behavior. Quote, our commitment to ensuring the highest standards of equine welfare and sportsmanship remains unwavering. So I'm guessing from, yes, that Kitland Dam goes, I read it showed her beating the legs of the horse. So yes, yeah. So, and here's the thing, when I mentioned her Olympic success, the 39-year-old Dujardin won gold at the 2012 London Games in team and individual dressage and won another individual gold in 2016 at Rio de Janeiro. She took bronze in team and individual at Tokyo 2021 and silver for the team event at Rio. Her 6 medals are tied for the most by a female British Olympian. That's probably one of the biggest names in British sport. So yeah, big scandals going on here. Let's see, what else do I have for you today, kids and cubs? That's all that kind of news. Okay. Oh yes. It seems that the Prime Minister only has a few days to call the by-election in a Montreal electoral district called La Salle-Émard. And there's some controversy because it seems that candidates for the nomination were running. They were getting their signatures, and it was decided that a candidate would be parachuted in. Now, that's always controversial, but it is the prerogative. The problem is that this could be a bit of a strategic. It has the potential to be a strategic blunder, and I'll get to as to why it is, why that is. But according to the Montreal Gazette, this is Michel Sabat from La Presse Canadienne in the Montreal Gazette. A decision by Prime Minister Justin Trudeau to prevent Liberal Party members from choosing their own candidate in a by-election in the riding of La Salle Émard-Verdun by parachuting in his own choice is not going over well with those who had sought to win the nomination locally. Quote, it's 100% anti-democratic, School Commissioner Laurie Merson told La Presse Canadienne. Let's just say it's not the best thing for being democratic, but it is completely legal and acceptable and part of the process and part of the game. This is not new. So it's not forbidden. But I mean, if you actually are really, really, really championing democracy, especially at the grassroots level, then you let riding nominations happen. Morrison said she can't leave her party, let her knock on doors in the riding and sign up new party members only to then refuse to hold a nomination meeting for a by-election that has to be called. The deadline for that move is Tuesday. She argued that the nomination vote is an important part of the process, quote, because this has been a Liberal bastion for a very, very long time, she said. Trudeau made the decision to name Montreal City Councillor Laura Palestini as the party candidate, Liberal cabinet minister and campaign co-president Soraya Martinez-Ferrada said. Trudeau is on vacation, not available for an interview, his office said on Monday. The party did not make anyone available to answer questions, replying instead with generalities. The Liberals have held La Salle Émard-Verdun during the 3 elections held since its creation. The last vote saw former Justice Minister David Lametti re-elected with 42.9% of the ballots cast. The riding has been vacant since Lametti left politics in January after being excluded from Trudeau's cabinet. Entrepreneur and would-be candidate Christopher Beininger said Trudeau's decision left him in a, quote, state of shock and that the imposition of a candidate is, quote, not right and demotivating. We're still in a democracy, he said. Quote, people can still vote, just not for the people they thought they were going to vote for. Despite his disappointment, Beininger said Trudeau's intervention, quote, respects the rules as there is, quote, green light committee that can reject any candidacy on the grounds of the higher interest of the party. That said, Beininger maintained that the Palestini was, quote, parachuted into the riding, and Morrison said she had, quote, had never heard Palestini's name. Asked if Trudeau's decision has hurt the party's chances in the by-election, Beininger replied, quote, we didn't improve our chances. I'll leave it there. The Liberals are trailing the federal Conservatives by 20 points nationally, and, again, the by-election loss in Toronto St. Paul's that happened has led to growing calls from Trudeau to step down. The third would-be candidate for the Liberals in La Salle Émard-Verdun is Eddie Cara, a filmmaker and former organizer for the Quebec Liberals. He said he has tried since February to reach Palestini, but received no response. Cara said Trudeau's involvement in the nomination process is, quote, shocking, even more so since the party gave him every indication a nomination process would be held, including publishing a nomination kit and conducting a meeting of the Green Light Committee. He said he heard the Liberals wanted, quote, someone of Italian origin to, quote, make sure we had the Italian vote. However, Cara said he has heard 3 members of the party executive were considering nominating Daniela Romano, another city councillor in La Salle. According to the 2016 census, 8.2% of the riding's residents are of Italian origin. Palestini will be campaigning against another city councillor in the by-election. Independent councillor Craig Sauvé is running for the NDP. The Conservative Party of Canada said on Friday their candidate, Louis Dialente, is a common-sense small business owner. Now, the reason for which I say that this may pose a risk is because this is also considered a safer Liberal seat. It's existed with the current boundaries for the last 3 elections. The Liberals have won it every time. It seems that it's a tight 3-way race with about 4 points difference between some candidates, and the main challenge is coming from the NDP candidate in that electoral district. Now, had the Prime Minister, after Toronto St. Paul's, everybody was saying if the Prime Minister loses, he's got to go, and he hasn't gone, right? He actually believes that he's the man for the moment and that he can see it through. But there, the Prime Minister did not intervene to parachute a candidate. So now he's got 1 loss in his column. This is a race, and some people, even if the Liberals win it, might still declare it a loss because people say, well, even if Trudeau won it, the race was tighter than it should have been. So, blah, 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 whatever. Right? But should he lose it, it would be 2 in a row And this time it would be a hand-picked candidate. So now you can't just say, oh, well, maybe it wasn't the candidate or whatnot. It's like, no, you intervene. So this, if the loss there is going to be spun by insiders and outsiders as directly going to his judgment and his ability to have sway and pull. So, yeah. It's a bold move. It's a bold move, and it could have consequences. And we're in a situation where there's a little less enthusiasm for the current government and more enthusiasm for other parties. And again, if somebody wants to, like, for example, if this is a party that the NDP has a chance to win, given that the numbers for a whole bunch of things are not really great on Mr. Singh's side, if he could motivate a lot of vote and get it out, he would have an interesting narrative of his own now. Right. So, yeah, there will be some interesting stories coming out of that. All right, kids and cubs, I believe that is everything today. So, with that, I will say that we have a show. Kids and cubs, I hope that you enjoyed this episode of the Daily Beaver Morning Show, flying solo with extra production today. So far the training course has gone well. Now, we didn't actually practice the extra, but I will assume that it is similar, just in reverse. So I might not stick the landing yet. So stay with me, because this could be interesting. If you would like to support us, you can do so by sponsoring, by going to our pod page. That's podpage.com/the True North Eager Beaver Yes, True North Eager Beaver, lowercase letters with a hyphen between each one of the words. And for some reason, see, I'm looking for it here, and I do not see the QR code for our pod page. Oh, well. But I did see the QR. I should have put that on at the beginning of the show, the QR code for the True North Eager Beaver YouTube page. And that is where, if you're Kit Elaine, you will go to smash with our buttons, or if you're Kit Cassie, to lick our buttons. So please like, share, subscribe. We really appreciate it. We thank you for your support. Also, thank you to the Ray Girl for sponsoring the pod page. If you go there and click subscribe, when we have something fresh off the bandwidth, we come directly to you. And if you would like to support us in other ways, then that QR code that just appeared brings you to our coffee page, where we have the Eager Beaver Lodge Emergency Hydration Fund that Mr. Grizzly wants me to tell you is not used for hydration, but actually putting the show on. But it's our hydration fund, also known as our tip jar. And if you would like to leave us a little support, for example, if you're feeling sorry for me that I have to navigate all these buttons, and you want to offer me a little liquid encouragement in the form of hot chocolate, that would make me very happy. But of course, the gift of your attention is the gift that means the most to us, and therefore, we will appreciate everything that you do for us. Okay, sorry, the phone just rang and I got thrown. Because democracy is something that you do, kids and cubs, please, if you live in Saskatchewan, if you live in New Brunswick, if you live in BC, find out what you could do with regard to the elections to participate. My words of wisdom, I think I'm just going to go back to the thing I said before. Nobody can make you feel bad without your permission, so don't grant that permission, right? Love yourself. All right, kids and cubs, I am going to try and sign out. Hopefully, I do this the right way. I am definitely not sticking the landing here. Not quite sure exactly how to do that to put the end bumper. Oh, maybe right here. Maybe this is it. Okay. Gonna try this one. You are listening to a True North Eager Beaver Media Incorporated podcast. The True North Eager Beaver podcasts are proudly brought to you by our founding sponsors, the Misfit Mysteries from Corvid Moon Publishing, your source for science fiction, fantasy, and cozy mysteries featuring a broad diversity of characters. CanadianTarot.com, their uniquely Canadian online eclectic tarot community, and The Peppermaster, hot pepper sauces made from farm-fresh ingredients to thrill your taste buds and expand your mind. We are grateful to the Crier Media Network for its support, Pete Jarvis for our artwork, and Paul Joseph Something for our opening and closing sequence music.